Now, with breaking headlines from 50 to 250 years ago, this is yesterday's news.
Good day, USA. I'm Peyton Dixon with Historic Experience, and this is yesterday's news. Full disclosure, this is a history channel, so these news items are several yesterdays ago. Let's get to yesterday's news for March. March 29th, 1799, New York passes a law aimed at gradually abolishing slavery in the state. The law states that even though they don't know what it is, complete abolishment should happen after the next F train arrives. That was for our historic New Yorkers. On March 19th, 1918, Congress enacted the Standard Time Act of 1918, also known as the Calder Act, establishing time zones and approving daylight savings time. First utilized only during wartime, daylight time followed the practice of taking some of your time away only to return it to you months later, a method begun in 1913 with the passage of the 16th Amendment for federal income tax. March 17th, 1776. Early in the Revolutionary War, the British completed their withdrawal of Boston following a successful siege by Washington's troops. The event is still commemorated in the Boston area as Evacuation Day. And if you think I'm going to make a joke about that, you obviously don't know Boston or my desire to live. On March 10th, 1862, United States notes, or legal tender notes, began circulation in $5, $10, and $20 increments, the country's first publicly circulated paper currency. When asked why the change in currency, President Abraham Lincoln stated, "Well, we liked coins, but we were really looking for something that would get wet and sticky in your pocket in the summertime." And now it's time for
Yesterday's news, birthdays in March.
On the Ides of March 1767, 7th U.S. President Andrew Jackson was born in a log cabin in Waxhaw, South Carolina. Well known for his independent spirit and fiery temper as executive, he is attributed with forging the Democratic Party, the spoils system, and massive Native American relocations. Near the end of his administration, he was gifted with a giant 1,400-pound block of cheese, which went on tour and sat around the president's house for almost a year, becoming odorous and leaky, bringing new light to the phrase, "To the victor belong the spoils." On March 14, 1833, Lucy Hobbs was born. She became America's first female dentist and was also a women's rights advocate. To be honest, I'm surprised women didn't get the right to vote in her lifetime. I mean, I'll agree to pretty much anything if you've got metal hooks and a drill in my mouth. And famed law enforcement officer Wyatt Earp was born on March 19, 1848, best known for his part in the shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona, which actually took place in a narrow lot 6 doors over. Earp would then go on to command a team into an interstellar teleportation device into an Egyptian world. I'm being told that's Kurt Russell. Sorry. Earp would actually travel through an almost completely submerged Earth on a quest for dry land. And I'm being told that that's Kevin Costner. He actually went on, among other things, to serve as an unpaid consultant for quite a few cowboy movies. That's 2 lies and a truth. Oh, and I am being told that I am no longer invited to the next Historic Experience party, which is awkward because I'm hosting. And in a story that should have its own What the History segment, the term OK as an abbreviation misspelled on purpose for all correct first appears in print in the Boston's Morning Post on March 23, 1839. Although not the first abbreviation, it has been one of the longest in use until its replacement in the early 21st century by the even more abbreviated. And in a story that does have its own What the History segment, on March 19, 1935, the game company Parker Brothers acquires the rights to Monopoly from Charles Darrow, who got the idea, or possibly just took it, from widely circulated versions of a similar game called the Landlord's Game, created by Lizzie Magie. She didn't sue, but let's face it, there was never a strong chance that she would win, because even if she turned on the old waterworks, with copyright and patent laws as they were, it was a short line of people who didn't have the luxury to take other people's ideas without the need to go to jail. And that is just some of yesterday's news for March. Until next we meet, I'm Peyton Dixon of Historic Experience, reminding you don't repeat history. Leave that to the professionals.